The Financial Quarterback by Anthony Leo.
Damn! Sorry, Shane. Sorry, everybody.
No problem, Jumbo. Just make sure you rip someone's head off on this one.
Consider it done.
All right. So besides me, who really wants the ball? Yeah, you want it, Brian. Let's hook up. DC left, Y motion, 88 Warrior. Gentlemen. It's been an honor to share the field of battle with you. It's on one-on-one. Ready?
Down by less than a touchdown, the quarterback huddles the team for a final play. If they pull this play off and win, the quarterback will be praised, but if not, he will be a target of shame. Just like the quarterback, when things are going great, the Fed is glorified, but when a recession occurs, the Fed is criticized, and then there's threats of extermination. The Fed is the central bank of the United States. The Fed's job is outlined in the Federal Reserve Act that includes maximum employment, stable prices, and moderate long-term interest rates. In the next video clip, we will see how the Fed is structured.
As you can see, there's a lot going on around the Fed, but keep in mind that the whole is really just the sum of the parts. Basically, the Federal Reserve is made up of three parts: the Board of Governors, that's the building on the far left, the Reserve Banks, the 12 buildings along the right, and the Federal Open Market Committee. The complex design of these three parts is actually tied to how the Fed was created in the first place. The Fed, then and now, combines centralized national authority through the Board of Governors, remember that on the map, with a healthy dose of regional independence through the Reserve Banks. A third entity, the Federal Open Market Committee, brings together the expertise of the first two in setting the nation's monetary policy.
This central bank has faced harsh times over the past decade. These challenges include the financial crisis, the housing bubble, and the Great Recession.
The first time the Dow Jones Industrial Average passed the 13,000 mark.
Another milestone for the market, 14,000 on the money.
Record-breaking kickoff to the fourth quarter as the Dow Jones Industrial Average closes at a new all-time record high.
Let's celebrate,
Stearns is fine. Do not take your money out. This is real. If there's one takeaway other than a plus 400 something, Bear Stearns is not in trouble. I mean, if anything, they're more likely to be taken over. Don't move your money from Bear. That's just being silly.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
The closing numbers on the markets today, at one point the market fell as if down a well over 700 points.
Apple shares are just getting hammered this morning.
We're down by between 3 and 4.5% generally across these markets. Let's talk about the speed with which we are watching this market deteriorate. We're red everywhere, essentially, down by 4-5%. We're down over 16%. Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%. The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
As you might recall, Congress created the Federal Reserve to foster safe, sound, and competitive practices in the nation's banking system. To accomplish this, the Fed both regulates the banking system and supervises certain types of financial institutions. In case you're wondering, these types include state-chartered member banks, bank holding companies, which are the companies that own banks, and international organizations that do banking business in the United States. There are other types of banks that are supervised by other regulators.
If the Fed is a regulator and supervisor of private banks, why didn't it prevent any of the recent failures? In this clip, a Tunisian player asked Kobe Bryant to sign his shoe. How could the Tunisian team trust this player if he is a fan of the USA team? Regulated banks vote in Federal Reserve directors. who then appoint the president of the corresponding reserve bank. It is as if the Fed banks are fans of the private banks who they supervise. This cozy relationship could have increased risky behavior by private institutions, leading to the financial meltdown. The recession has affected college students with higher tuition costs and unemployment. Luckily, the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act has fixed the Fed's flaws and placed strict restrictions on banks. These are necessary policies needed to keep our financial QB in shape.
Green 86! Green 86!
I knew you could do it!
Final score, Washington 20, Dallas 17. Washington goes to the playoffs.
I wish you could swim.